Hi, my name's Dr Scott Kennedy and I teach Legal Services and Police Studies at South Lanarkshire College. I obtained a PhD in 2018 from the University of the West of Scotland, which was on the subject of end-of-life issues in Scotland and the UK, particularly looking at assisted dying and suicide tourism, euthanasia. I have quite a fragmented path to PhD and subsequently to my job as a lecturer at South Lanarkshire College. I left school in 2006 with only a couple of hires. I wanted to be a teacher, but unfortunately didn't meet the entry requirements for university to become a teacher. So I attended college, it was Bell College at the time, to complete what was then the equivalent of an HND in law and legal services. So I studied there for 2 years. And during that 2 years, I got a foundational understanding of law and of legal practice. And that course was very much tailored towards leaving after 2 years and going into industry, whether it was working as like a paralegal or a legal secretary. Following that, UWS merged Bell College and the University of Paisley, and I was offered the opportunity to go on to UWS and complete my honours degree in law. So that was third and fourth year. I had a really positive experience during that time at UWS where I learnt a lot more about the theory of law and the skills required to be a lawyer, to be a solicitor. At that point, it was still in the back of my mind that I really wanted to be a teacher, and being a lawyer was now really sort of an option for me. So at the end of fourth year, so at the end of my honours year at UWS, I spoke to my dissertation supervisor, and she commented that there was potentially the opportunity for a PhD coming up at UWS. Upon investigating further and having a chat with her, she commented that this was a good way into lecturing within the legal sector. So that would allow me to combine what I had learnt over the 4 years and the positive experience that I'd had in learning law and a passion that I had developed for law, but also would allow me to still continue with that ambition of becoming a teacher. So I started the PhD in 2010, it was part-time, and I worked through that over the space of sort of 7 years, part-time and up to the exam. During that time I gained a lot of experience. I was lecturing and tutoring law and legal studies at the University of the West of Scotland. I was also tutoring on business units as well and research units at the same time. So I've learned a lot about how universities work during that period of time. As part of my time during my PhD, my remit was also to work as a widening access coordinator, where I worked closely with young school students in S5 and S6 who were looking to progress to university via the college route, so the same route that I took when I left school. We worked closely with 21 schools in the west of Scotland, and the purpose of that was to get these students into university, but through the important pathway of going through college first of all. So that I was working there for about 7 years. During that period of time I had the opportunity to present papers at both domestic, closely with the Scottish Parliament, and continued to do so in writing legislation and supporting them with their end-of-life policies. I also had the opportunity to work with a number of excellent academics who have been in the field for a number of years and who are very experienced both academically and as teachers, which allowed me to develop my teaching skills as well. So I graduated in 2018, November 2018, with a PhD, following minor corrections after my examination on the thesis. And just before then, in June 2018, I started working at South Lanarkshire College as a lecturer in legal studies. I then moved to South Lanarkshire College the year later to work full-time on the legal services and the police studies courses. The experience that I've got and the experience that I have, I think, benefits our students in a number of different ways. First of all, I think it's important that our students know that the legal industry is accessible. One of the things is that a lot of people look at the legal industry and think that they can't enter that unless they have a lot of qualifications. And I hope that the path that I've taken acts as an example to those students that you can enter the legal industry with not a lot of qualifications and make a successful career from your progression. So that's one way in which I think that it can support our students. Additionally, and probably most importantly, is the fact that I've worked in the university for, it was about 8 years I worked there, and I was teaching for that full period of time. I'm aware of the differences between college and university, and that's particularly important for our students who are progressing on to university, whether it's into legal studies or whether it's from a police course into criminal justice. And one of the key things is that it allows me, along with the rest of the legal team, to implement the skills required for university. And by that it means that when our students come in for HNC, or for whether it's NC, Access, whatever course they come in at, from day one, my experience of working in that industry allows me to implement those skills and to teach those skills for those students to make that transition either from college to university, or if they're going from college straight into employment, it allows that transition to be smooth. It helps to produce good graduates who are able to go straight into university and hit the ground running if they get direct entry into year 3. And it also allows for our students to have good access to the industries. For example, if they want to become a paralegal, they've been taught the relevant skills that they require in there. We also have good links with the Law Society of Scotland, the Paralegal Association of Scotland, Police Scotland, and other industries and organisations who can support our students with that. And these links have all been born from the experience that the lecturers in the college have. And for myself, I have good links with the universities. Finally, I think that my experience helps the students in that, having worked within Widening Access, I know the processes through college into university, I know the requirements, I know the standards, and that's something where we're able to support our students with their university applications, with their skills, and making sure that they are ready to go and make that next step once they leave us, and as I said, that we're producing good graduates.